disrespect. That's always one of the highlights. Yeah, but you don't really get good. Person on the country. But yeah. Walk safe. There are people on
they want to include us, but we really are just better start at the back and say, yes, ladies and gentlemen.
I just wanted to get on. I was at the break.
No, Nadia is not okay.
Ow.
Thank you, Samuel. I can't wait to make you shots. That's for the night when Wait, no, I know who it is. Okay, I'll come and join y'all after.
What up?
How are you?
Very much so.
Yeah.
What are you excited? Oh, formal. How was it?
What was your interview? You said you
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was kind of trying to get to all of you. I walked into the first bar at 2:40. $251 and $12.
What? Are you sitting up? Oh, wait, you flew
No. I I did. That does not include that. That was like once I got to NOLA from 2:40, I got there.
Oh wait, you weren't there Friday night. It was serious question about it. So you were sitting in Montgomery Saturday, and I guess that I took a picture.
Am I scared by wife one day? Is it that one? That's the road. Okay,
Me and Hannah were looking at his girlfriend.
It's not. I know. I would never put you that. I hope you know I would never put that. Yeah, I do.
Is that your girlfriend?
We were sitting at dinner, and we were all really just like, honestly, Bum Kid, freaking's gonna be my wife. Yeah. What's fun? It was good. I mean, the first two questions were really the same exact question. $100 to fly there. I was kind of like, when I was halfway through the plane ride, I was sitting there like, I don't like doing this. Like,
You're for like 18 hours and
but like, I had a great time, and I don't regret it. I mean, she wouldn't have gone if I wasn't flying down. So
Wait, so did she go?
she went Friday on the early bus.
She had some time to go out already.
Actually, she didn't.
Welcome to the SGA Debate. My name is Lauren Urban, and I have the pleasure of serving this year as Executive Director of Elections for the Student Government Association. So please be finding your seats. We're going to begin very shortly. And just as a reminder, to stay throughout the whole debate out of respect for all of our candidates. And over the course of the night, we'll hear from candidates seeking to lead the student body for the next year. Tonight's event will be separated into two parts. First, our Miss Auburn candidates, and all the order was determined by a random drawing for the candidates when they arrived. And then next, we'll hear from our major candidates. You will hear from treasurer, vice president, and presidential candidates. And these questions have not been approved by any campaign before tonight. The questions will be directed toward the candidate who will have a minute and a half to answer, and each remaining candidate will have 45 seconds of rebuttal. The debate will end with each candidate having the opportunity to give a closing statement. Thank you again for attending, and I welcome to the stage the debate moderator, this year's SGA President, Mary Margaret Turner. Thank you, Lauren, and once again, welcome to tonight's SGA Debate. Would y'all please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Lauren and her team for all the work they've done. As Lauren said, it's been my honor to serve as SGA President this year, and I'm looking forward to
focuses on three main areas that bring home together here at Auburn. First, advocating for and supporting the Auburn Student Veterans Association and the many projects that they complete throughout the year for the brave servicemen and women who just want to get an Auburn education. Second, making sure that everybody in the Auburn family has a voice by focusing on smaller organizations on campus to give them the platform to share their message that I know we all need to hear. Third, highlighting what makes Auburn home. I know that home is different for each and every one of us. It's not a place, it's a feeling. And for me, it's a feeling that I get back home in Southwest Georgia, but it's also a feeling that I get with a high five and a war eagle in a concourse. And so these three things are how I'm going to advocate for a better Auburn for all of us and make the Auburn family even better than it is. So I hope tomorrow you make it home, make it Maggie. Thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Katie Phelan, and I also have the privilege of running for Miss Auburn with these awesome girls. I'm originally from Rockville, Maryland, which is really not anywhere near here. It's near DC. But when I came to Auburn, I really had kind of a challenging time getting to know people and letting them see my heart behind just who I was as a student. And so when I had this opportunity to run for Miss Auburn, I knew that I wanted to talk about mental health because oftentimes it really is something hard to talk about. And that's kind of why our slogan we came up with, Start the Conversation, because talking about mental health can seem a lot less daunting when all you want to do is just ask someone how they're doing. So that's kind of our focus this week, and we're just really excited about being honest and true with how you're doing. That's what we related to the creed, and it's really just been an honor and a privilege to get to talk to you authentically about how you're doing, and thank you all for just checking in with how I'm doing as well. And that's just really my goal and my heart behind this week. And it's really been just an honor to kind of share a little bit about me and just kind of continue my Auburn experience just by being my most authentic self. So thank you so much, and here's Megan. Hey y'all, I'm Megan Omzek, and like everyone else that's like on the stage, I'm so excited and so honored. These other four girls have been absolutely incredible, and honestly, they have been my backbone alongside all the people who are supporting me this week. And it is such an honor to stand next to them and get to talk about what Auburn means to us together. So this week, my platform is actually based on the sixth stanza of the Auburn Creed, and that is about how I believe in the human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow man and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all. God's proud of me right now. But I'm honestly so excited because I believe that as people, we are called to love others, and we are called to cultivate relationships with those in the community around us. And throughout my time at Auburn, I have really been able to do that and been able to pour into the people that have poured into me, and that is the Auburn family. And I'm truly so excited and so honored to be able to talk about what I'm most passionate about with the people that I'm most passionate about, and that is the Auburn family. And that's y'all. And it's the people that surround us. The Auburn family extends well beyond the borders of Sanford Lawn, and it is our responsibility as Auburn students to cultivate relationships with those who create the community around us. And it is so evident, y'all, how much they care for us and how much we should care for them. Because I know that throughout my time serving through Impact and serving on just all of these organizations like Project Uplift, I have seen the love that they have for us and the love that they have poured into us. And that is love that is so unseen often. And I just want to be able to give back to them. And so I think this week it has been an honor. Sorry, words are hard sometimes. But it has been an honor to shed light on the importance of relationship, the gravity of the human touch, and the impact of a servant's heart. Because, y'all, I don't know about you, but a smile goes a long way. And a smile goes a long way, and the human touch is truly one of the most important and impactful gifts we have to offer. Thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Cal Bryant, and I'm a junior from Dallas, Texas. And like they've all said, this week has been absolutely unreal. These women standing beside me are incredible. We've laughed and cried, and the group text has just really kept us going this week. So I'm so grateful to go through this experience with them. But traveling that 701 miles from Dallas is kind of what sparked my platform for this week. It's just centered around the line of the creed. I believe in a sound mind and a sound body, a spirit that is not afraid, and in clean sports that develop these qualities. So really focusing on that, a spirit that is not afraid.
Who knew that I could make it in southeastern Alabama, coming all the way from Texas? That's a huge testament to you all in this room, these women on the stage, and the Auburn family that we are a part of. And so I'm really just been talking about Michigan going to step outside of their comfort zones this week. Out of state has been my biggest gift because I got to look at everyone as a potential friend, whether it was standing in the Panera line, because otherwise I was going to eat that next meal alone. And so just encouraging us to continue to do that, because I think you can't realize the rest of the Auburn Creed without first stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's not easy to be the human touch to someone that you don't understand. You can't put in that hard work without looming fear of failure, and you most certainly can't be honest and truthful with yourself or those around you without giving a small piece of yourself away first. So just kind of what we've been talking about. I've had an absolute blast. Pushing outside our comfort zone, something I first became familiar with coming to Auburn. It's something I've seen in my Camp Role students or working in a doctor's office, just like seeing that uncomfort in other people. And it's certainly something that we've all experienced this week, putting ourselves out there. So just wanted to thank you all again for all your love and support of us and all the other candidates running. It's really been incredible. So thank you.
My name is Sasha Cohen. I'm a junior from Mobile, Alabama, studying architecture, and I'm so excited and honored to be standing up here along with these beautiful ladies running for the position of Miss Auburn. If you told me my freshman year I would be standing up here, I would be completely shocked. I just didn't think I was in the right organizations or knew the right people to be in this position, but now that I'm here, I realize that your status on campus cannot determine your ability to advocate for change on this campus. My platform is centered around the line of the creed. I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence in my fellow men. And when I read this line of the creed, I think it's easy for us to ask for honesty and truthfulness from other people, but it's also really important for us to look within and find these qualities in ourselves. And to me, living out this line of the creed as Miss Auburn looks like creating a more inclusive and diverse environment, as well as ensuring that the resources for mental health, food insecurity, survivor support, and others that could affect the well-being of our students are at the highest quality they can be at and easily accessible to all students. When it comes to diversity, I think a lot of candidates get up here and run on this platform, and it's really important, especially for Auburn, considering we are ranked in the bottom 20th percentile in ethnic diversity, as well as the top 5 LGBTQ unfriendly college. And it's really important for us to have allies to bring light to this issue. But I do feel like I can bring a really unique perspective to the table because I have lived the experience of a minority student on this campus. And when it comes to resources, I really want to work with each office to make sure that they have all the resources they need to be able to tailor all of their services to each and every type of student. February 4th, you're all going to have a great opportunity to make an important decision. Everyone that will be speaking tonight will have the opportunity to impact your Auburn experience. And it's really important that you read platforms and understand what everyone is running for. So I really hope that you decide to support me, Sasha Cohen from Miss Auburn, tomorrow. Thank you, sincerely, Sasha and War Eagle.
Thank you for all this. As y'all can see, each of these ladies represent what it means to be an Auburn woman of the creed very well. So thank you all. Next, I'll ask our SGA treasurer candidates to come to the podiums. Caroline, would you like to begin with your opening remarks?
Hey y'all, my name is Caroline Willoughby, and I'm so excited to be running to be your next SGA treasurer. My main goal with this position is to work to serve and support you and your residents both on and off campus. I'd like to begin by working with the Downtown Merchants Association and on-campus administrators to find ways to give students discounts that can be used both on campus and if you're buying food in the student center. Next, I'd like to build a formulaic spreadsheet that can help all students strategize their spending, whether it be money that you make from an on-campus job, a scholarship, or an allowance that your parents give you. I feel it's vital that students can understand how to strategize their spending. Next, I'd like to continue the work of past treasurers on trying to make the SGA budget more transparent. As it is now, it's kind of hard to find and kind of hard to understand. And as it's your money that's being spent, I feel it's vital that you all can give an educated opinion on where it goes. I'd also like to work with the organization's boards to ensure everyone has the funding and resources that they need to be successful. Thank you guys.
serve this community, this country, my God, but most importantly, this school. And to briefly run through my platform, I want to start off by looking into tuition and fees transparency. Because I know that that's a paid expense that all students undergo, and that is an answer that all our students deserve to know more about by undefined goals and what the tuition fees are broken down by. And second, something I'm most excited about is scholarships. Being a quadruplet with all my siblings here at Auburn, I've learned to value the opportunity of scholarship. And that's why I want to bring forth new scholarship opportunities to Auburn, but also highlight the current scholarships we do have available and make them more known for all they have. Last, I want to intentionally assess the budget process, meeting with every organization that requests money from SGA to make it as fair as possible so that all can help understand how we can make the process more fair.
Thank you. Whoever I ask the question to will have a minute and a half to respond, and then Michael, if you'd like to comment after that, you'll have 45 seconds. I will ask you to stop when you hit that time though. So the first question for Caroline. As treasurer, how would you seek to advocate to administrators on behalf of students regarding the university's tuition and fees?
So I would begin by talking to administrators about the fees that students have and just discussing how that affects the average student. As students, we all incur a lot of expenses, and it's very hard. Those student loans are building up. We may not have the time to get jobs. And I really ask administrators to help advocate for the students and find ways for them to earn money and find ways to delegate those fees over an extended period of time so they can really not have that burden build up for too long. As I said in my platform, I feel like it's so important that no student that comes on this campus feels like they're financially insecure and feels like they cannot be successful on this campus because of that. And I feel that is vital, especially to have with administrators and really see student by student what we can do to help them.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I've been blessed to be able to serve with different roles on campus, one being in the Student Affairs Office and another being in the Board of Trustees Office. And throughout those roles, I've been able to connect myself with a lot of different administrators and learn how they relate to students and what they see throughout students' lives. And so that's why I would be able to look into what the students need, be able to carry that directly over by previously having those relationships with the said administrators and using those connections to be able to roughly accomplish the goals that the students have and the betterment of them.
Thank you. Michael, we'll start with you for the next question. What would be your priorities when advocating for the student activity fee? Specifically, how would you help ensure that they are spent responsibly?
Absolutely. So everyone pays $45 fee to the student activity portfolio. And what I would do to advocate that in the student's mindset would be to meet with all organizations that get money through SGA so that we can see from the student's perspective how they can be best served for all students to have the best opportunity to have more greater experiences at Auburn. So we can meet with different treasurer roles throughout those organizations to properly assess how they look into their budget and see where they can save money, where they can spend money in different ways, so that we can always be able to improve the efficiency throughout each organization so that we can have the greatest experience for every student.
Thank you.
During my time in the Student Senate, I was able to learn a little bit about the Budget and Finance Committee and about the Code of Laws as well. I feel that the student activities fee is something that students don't really know about. They don't really know where the money's going. They don't know how to advocate it where they would like to see it going in the future. I feel like one way to work on this is, as I said, working with the Student Organizations Board. That's the board that oversees over 400 student organizations on this campus. And the process for the student organizations to get funding is very difficult. I would like to delegate a director or liaison from student government specifically to work with all those organizations to ensure that that money is going where students would like to see it going.
Caroline, we'll start with you for the next question. What could SGA do better to help other student organizations budget and spend the student activity fee money?
So I would think it's very important for the finance branch and the budget and finance branch to have those meetings and really listen to what these organizations need. I think leading, especially with finance, is a lot about listening and what the money needs to go to and how we can reallocate for the needs of organizations in the best way possible. So we don't add a burden to students, and so we don't take away money from someone else, but just see what all we can do to fix it. Whether that be working more to get money from Balfour Ring Ambassadors or working to reallocate funds from other places to ensure that
students, it would be best if we properly trained the team that we had up under the finance division that's up under the treasurer, that they would know every bit of information they needed to carry out the roles and help the organizations, so that we could also meet with those organizations and they could all understand what process they're about to go through, that we can receive feedback and come back with a greater understanding of what all is going to go on throughout the budget process, and we can understand how it can be more improved, how it can be more fair, and that everyone in the organization would be able to have their accurate information from those on the finance team, and they'll be able to help them as easy as possible throughout proper training.
My final question is, how would you work with Balfour to expand the Auburn Ring tradition?
I think the Auburn Ring is a great thing. It's something that I've always looked at as a cool thing to have, just because it looks cool on your hand. But also, I think if we train the people that sold the rings, we made this a big deal for students, that all people would want to have a ring, and it wouldn't feel like a burden to have to buy, but something that you get to have, that you get to carry with you throughout the rest of your life as an Auburn graduate. And then we promoted that as a greater honor, so that in doing so, we would create more revenue through SGA, and then we could have more money to have the opportunity to start new organizations, but also improve the ones we do have, and efficiently breaking the money down in a proper way.
I think it's important to start the Auburn Ring tradition from the get-go, whether that be King for Eagle packets, from that student recruiter packets, and just showing the Auburn student what it's like to be an Auburn grad and how much of an honor it is to walk around with that on your finger. I think Hunter Short did a great thing this past year with the Auburn Ring program by really promoting it through marketing more so, and through the tradition, and through dipping it in the water and the whole thing that comes with it. I feel like if we continue to push that honor and that tradition, it will come through in our budget, it will come through in our revenues, and it will come through for the Auburn student body, which is what we really want to do.
Caroline, at this time, would you please, you have a minute for any final remarks?
If elected, I promise to work day in and day out to fulfill the platform that I told you guys about at the beginning of tonight. I have grown to love Auburn SGA over these past 4 years. It has given me the friendships and the strength to be the best leader that I know how. And I would be so honored and privileged to serve you all as your next SGA treasurer. And I hope that you choose to vote for Willoughby tomorrow, so I can maybe save you guys a few dollars and let you guys know where your money's going. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for being here and showing so much support to the people that you have here represented, because I know it's a bold way to share a vision of this university in this way, and it means so much for all of us to have your support here, to all the candidates here, I can say that. But out of my desire to serve, I was granted with a nomination to United States Air Force Academy in high school, and I was very close to spending my time somewhere very far from Auburn as a college experience. And so that's caused me, as I did end up here, it's caused me to value the opportunities I have had here and the experiences that I've been able to do, whether it's being a part of a different organization or hanging out with friends, having great relationships, or even being in Kentucky in basketball. That's something that makes me value what we have here, and it's why I want to be a part of something bigger than myself, to serve this university for the betterment of students. So I hope you all trust Thomas. Thank you all.
At this time, I'd like to invite our vice presidential candidates to the podium. You will each have 1 minute for your opening remarks.
All right, morning, y'all. My name is Xavier Kimbrell, and I'm so honored to be running for your next SGA Vice President. My slogan for this week has been Exceed with Xavier, and I don't know if you know this, but there are very few words that go with that name, so it's a short list to choose from. But the distinction that we made came between excel and exceed, and we chose, or we saw excel as just doing a job well done, but we saw exceeding as doing a job well done above what's been done before. And so it's my goal through this platform, through this campaign, and through the next year to do that in this position as Vice President. This can be done by streamlining our election feedback assessment through Senate and making sure that Senate's at the forefront of our outreach efforts through college-specific concerns of students. It also looks like revamping the structure in terms of Senate by updating the roles of Senate committees, adding and removing some of the more dated ones, and just making sure we're addressing the concerns of students today. Lastly, it looks like exceeding excellence. By making sure that SGA isn't just a governing body, but that we're representing students as best as possible to prepare them to exceed in the classroom, society, and their future careers. So that's my platform.
War Eagle, I'm Annie Osment. I'm a junior here from Georgesburg, Alabama, which has 2 traffic lights, so none of you probably have ever heard of it. But I'm super excited to have the opportunity to run for SGA Vice President. I've been a member of the Student Senate for the past 2 years, and I got to be the committee chair for the Inclusion and Diversity Committee this year. And that's really what sparked my interest in running for this position, because I've been able to see the impact that the Student Senate has on the entire student body and Auburn University as a whole. Through being on Go with NEO, we're hoping to be on Go with access, diversity, and information. The big goal behind that is just making sure that students know what the Student Senate does. We represent every single one of you who are sitting here today, and I am willing to bet a lot of you have no idea some of the major things that have been passed in the Student Senate over the past year. So I just want to be able to be transparent with everyone and to continue to keep the students' best interests in mind by keeping you informed and voting on behalf of you and what your interests are. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Hayes Casson. So as I was sitting over there waiting for my turn to talk, I was sitting there and my heart was racing. And as soon as I got up here, it was racing even more. But I just look out and I see all these familiar faces, and this is exciting. Like, this is what we're put in this position to do. So I just want to thank all of y'all for coming out tonight. And so I briefly want to touch on my platform points. With Casson as key, we're focusing on 3 major points. And number 1 is enhancing academic tools on campus. Right now in Louder, we have Scantron printers, and that's something that we want to bring to the Student Center and to the library. And the second point is talking about organizational voices within Senate. Over the past year, we were able to bring 4 different liaison positions to Senate, and so I want to see that number increase because those positions were truly amazing. And then lastly, we want to revisit the committee structure and have committees focus on everyday needs like dining and parking. Thank you.
To respond if you'd like. So Xavier, currently our senator-to-student ratio is one of the lowest among our peer institutions. How do you foresee that we pursue a strategy that makes our student body better represented within the Student Senate?
Absolutely. So currently, like you said, Mary Margaret, we do have one of the smallest senates in the SEC, and so it would be my goal to continue to work for the previous administrations to make sure that we're advocating for other student groups outside of our colleges. And this can look like Greek life, this can look like international students, student veterans, the Honors College, all of the above. And so there really is no one-size-fits-all approach, and it's our goal to figure out what needs to be done to make that happen. So I see us doing that by just continuing to research our peer institutions and continue the efforts of outreach from these last 2 years from our administrations to make sure that we're really growing the student feedback on who needs more representation and how we can best represent the concerns that they have right now.
Through my work with the Inclusion and Diversity Committee, I've been able to see firsthand the impact that not having a voice has on students here at Auburn. The Student Senate is super powerful, and we have the ability to represent every single person, but through adding more people, such as a spectrum voting member or other organizations on campus that we're overlooking because we currently only have 4 sitting in on Senate, we'll be able to reach and represent more students here on campus. I would also like to see the organizational liaisons that are added have the opportunity to vote in Senate as well, because I believe that their voices matter just as much as any of the other 34 senators who were elected.
So I briefly touched on it in my platform point, but I want to see that increased usage of the liaison position. I think we can have more than 4 and have their voice heard, because I truly found out a lot about what's going on in this university. Another point that's also in my platform is I want to bring a Senate voting seat to the Honors College. The Honors College is a school that has almost 4,000 students and also has their own curriculum, and I would love to see that become a voting seat.
Thank you. Annie, we'll start with you for the next question. Last week, the Klansman wrote an opinion piece expressing disappointment in the student senator's performance and their duties. What will you expect of senators this year, and how will you hold them to be accountable to their responsibilities representing their constituents with excellence?
As a student, I truly believe that school comes first, but as a senator, you're elected by your college to represent them and to be there for them each Monday night. So as Vice President, I will hold the senators accountable. We will meet quorum each week. We will vote on behalf of the people that we represent, not our own opinions. And we will make sure that we represent everyone on this university to the best of our abilities. I think it's super important that we remember that as senators, we represent everyone in our college, those people who voted us into this position and not ourselves. I know the Student Senate has a lot of super iffy things that they have to vote on sometimes, and it's really important that we go back out into our colleges and we get feedback from the students who elected us, because we are speaking on behalf of them. So just holding people accountable and letting them know that our standard is set very high, because our Student Senate is one of the best in the nation, and we always accomplish great things because of the standards that we've been held to in the past.
So I think Annie made great points there. One of the key roles of the Vice President is making sure his senators are, or his or her senators are equipped with the jobs that they're supposed to do. And whether that's putting them into committees that they are really interested in and want to work tirelessly day in and day out, or that's going out and reaching your fellow constituents and gathering feedback. I think it's something that we can all work on, and I think there's a lot of fat in Senate that can be cut down, and I want to get to work as soon as getting elected into office, like the week after.
The best leaders are thermostats and not thermometers. And so I feel like the elected positions should be put into a position where they're set up to where they're setting the environment for those around them. And this looks like looking at peer institutions, like currently the University of Arkansas has an ethics committee in their student senate, and I believe that would be a resource that can be brought here to make sure that we're holding our senators to a standard, that they're reaching student concerns that they have, but also that we're approaching stuff in the right manner and with the right direction and with a clear head.
For my final question, we'll begin with you, Hayes. What piece of legislation would you hope to see in the coming year, and what impact would it have on the student body?
So I briefly touched on it earlier, but one piece of legislation that really means a lot to me is getting a voting seat for the Honors College. Coming into Auburn, the Honors College kind of provided me with a little bit of community my freshman year, in a time where I didn't know a ton of people coming from Memphis, Tennessee. And it's also a very large school among Auburn. Like I said earlier, we have almost 4,000 students in the Honors College, and the Honors College has its own curriculum. And so I think right now we have 34 Senate seats, and yes, that is a small number, but it's also a number that allows us to work really hard. And so I think adding one seat to the Honors College just kind of increases that opportunity for more people to have their voice heard.
So I believe that a great piece of legislation to pass this next year would be to finish the work of this previous administration, to add more voting eligible seats to students, to not just represent our colleges, but to represent the various student groups on campus, no matter what social identity it has to do with, or interest, or anything like that. So that's one thing that just, the point of what I'm running on is to just supplement that work, to not stop at just adding voting seats, but also to look at adding potential committees to restructure the way that we do Senate, to restructure the concerns that we're approaching, so we're not just hitting big picture ideas, but so we're hitting the day-to-day concerns of students in 2020.
I would like to see something working towards the Auburn family be presented as a resolution or maybe as a commendation. I think it's super important that each student feels like they're truly a part of the Auburn family. And through my work with the IND committee, I've been able to see and hear people say that they've been here for 3, 4 years, or professors for 13, and they don't feel like they're a part of the Auburn family because they don't look like the majority or sound like the majority. And that breaks my heart because it's not the case for me, and maybe for a lot of you, but I think that as a student and as a professor or anyone on this campus, you should have the ability to feel like you're a part here. And so I want to see the Student Senate advocate and fight for those who don't maybe look like us or sound like us, but know that we represent all people here on campus, and I would love to see them feel that way as well.
Thank you each. At this time, you will now have 1 minute for any closing remarks.
So the SGA motto is to serve and promote the individual student while unifying all that is Auburn. And so the heart of my platform is behind serving and promoting the individual student. Because I know I've had a great experience here at Auburn, but I want to make sure that you and the person that comes after you have an even better experience than I did. Faculty and administration recognize that this is an excellent institution, but excellence isn't enough. We should be charged as students to make sure that we're putting student leaders in positions to advocate for everybody, no matter if they look the same or if they don't. So it's my goal to lead SGA in a manner that is characterized by representation, efficiency, and accountability, thereby exceeding excellence.
I want to start by saying thank you to every single person that's here on behalf of whoever you're supporting. It means so much to us to look out and see these faces smiling back, and just knowing that you all support and love us so much. So thank you so much for all the work that you put in this week. I just want to say how much Auburn means to me and how much it's given me as a student. I've really seen that how much you put in is how much you'll get out. And so I promise you that if I'm elected as SGA Vice President, I'll put in as much work as I can every single day and give my all to you. I really do believe in Auburn, and I hope that you all will believe in me and choose to be on go with Annie tomorrow. Thank you.
Guys, thank you everybody for coming out. And one thing I want to say before we approach a long day tomorrow is have fun. It's 12 hours of voting. It's going to be a long day, but just have fun and support whoever you're supporting, because like Annie said, they put a lot of work into this. And whether it's me that selected, or Xavier, or Annie, or any other candidate that you're not supporting, after the fact, please support them, because we all in here, we all love Auburn, and we all have the same goal of making Auburn a better place. So please just show that same love and support to whoever gets to lead Auburn next year. So thank you for everybody coming out.
At this time, I'll ask our presidential candidates to please join me on the stage. Once again, you will each have 1 minute for any opening remarks, beginning with James.
War Eagle, and my name is James Sadie, and it's so exciting to be up here to be running to be your next student body president. And whether each of you know this or not, each of you pay $45 a semester that goes to a student activity fee built to make your Auburn experience better every day. And as an SGA, it's our job and responsibility to make sure that we meet that expectation of the student at all times. So that's why I built this platform around 3 pillars: safety and transportation, community, and elevating your student experience. And we believe that through these 3 things, which can be found through the platforms online, that they're going to make every day of your experience here at Auburn better. And they're here in place to make Auburn something we can sit back and step back from, something we're proud of at all times. Because years from now, we're not going to remember probably who the SGA president was, but we're going to remember exactly the experience that Auburn University gave you, and it's my goal to make that experience the very best it can be every day you're a student at Auburn University. Thank you.
Sorry. Hey y'all, my name is Jordan Bailey, and I know the SGA is headed in a direction that we're all kind of unsure about. I wanted to put myself out as a candidate that can lead the direction that students want and that students need. The 3 main parts of my platform are outreach, organizations, optimization. Outreach. Most students don't know what SGA does, but a lot of students care what's happening on campus. And I actually want to stop expecting students to come to us and have SGA go to them. Organizations. There's almost 20,000 students involved in at least one organization on campus, and over 600 organizations. So we can actually start supporting them the same way we support the big organizations. And then optimization. Everybody has that part of campus that annoys them. For me, it's that bus stop outside with all those broken screens that have been broken for like 2 years. Drives me crazy. Or if you have something different, it might be basketball ticketing, it might be safety, it might be the security shuttle, it might be anything. But those things need to be fixed because those are what students want, and those are what students are pushing for. So therefore, SGA needs to actually hear their needs and work on behalf of all students.
My name is Avery Huntley, and I'm so excited and honored to be running to be your next SGA president. Thank you so much to all of you that just came out tonight. It really does mean a lot to me and the other people standing up here to have your support as we go through this debate. I've had the opportunity over the last several years to be involved in so many different areas on campus. My heartstrings are always pulled back to SGA. I really just had the opportunity to see the ability that this organization has to lead this university and the people in it better than they found it. And so I really want to be an agent in taking what is already a really, really good Auburn experience and making it a really great one. A little overview of my platform, we kind of focus on 3 things: enhancing campus life, launching new initiatives, and promoting student wellness. So I'm so excited to get to share more of my platform and my heart for Auburn with you all tonight. I'm excited about the rest of the debate.
Hello everyone, I'm Jack McKeith, and it really is truly such an honor to be standing in front of you all today. You know, when we first started on this whole process and visiting your organizations, I came in and made a challenge to you all to come up to me on the concourse and really tell me what it was that I could do as your next SGA president that would make a real, tangible, positive impact on your life and your Auburn experience. And you all have blown me away with that. You know, I've heard from so many students. I heard from a girl today, Meredith from Dothan, Alabama. She hates walking 30 minutes to Louder every day. And I heard from a guy named Abdul, who wishes that more students would get involved in different things like ISO and those type of organizations. And so everything in my platform of On Board with O'Keefe is truly about making a tangible, positive impact on your life and your Auburn experience. So tomorrow I hope that you'll be on board with me, On Board with O'Keefe.
Good evening. I'm Victoria Hope. I once heard that we progress one step forward with every tick of the clock. Over the past few weeks, I've enjoyed the countless conversations I've had with the student body. We've identified 4 areas that need to be improved. Now's the time to enhance our student life, to diversify our student body, to promote a more sustainable campus, and to address Auburn's food insecurity. And it's time to unite a family that is divided. Through a tighter day of service in the fall, where students will be randomly mixed up with 4 different groups: international students, athletes, Red Life, and it would truly unite the Auburn family. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I will now ask each of you a question, and then the other 4 will have the opportunity to respond. James, we'll start with you for the first question. As SGA president, you have a chance to voice student opinions to administrators, board of trustees, and the community. How do you maintain the diverse voice of the student body and ensure that students are adequately represented throughout the year?
Great question, and I think the first thing we need to do, especially as a student government association, we've got to make sure that we're meeting with every student organization on campus, because SGA is supposed to be representing everybody, and if we're expecting everyone to come to us instead of the opposite, which is what SGA should be set up as, then we're not going to get too far. So that's why with SGA, to be able to relay the best information to the administration and faculty, we've got to be going to these different meetings on campus. We've got to go once a semester at the minimum to every student organization on Auburn's campus, find the needs and concerns of their group, find what they need to succeed, and make sure that we're equipping them with the tools that they need to be successful. So that's how we're going to build that information. And when it comes to speaking with the administration and faculty, we've got to have someone willing to step up and speak up for what's important to the students. And that comes from being unapologetically encouraged by what the student body tells us to relay to them. And I promise you, if elected, I'll do that each and every day of my time as your student body president.
Thank you. Jordan?
So I think one of the major things we're trying to take stuff to administration is listening to students. A lot of times, we always go to the concourse, we tell students to come out and see us, we do all these things, but in reality, sometimes just going in one ear and going out the other, but we don't take the time to actually listen to actual concerns that students need. Also, I want to start creating a more diverse cabinet. We have a lot of students that are involved in different things on campus. We also get involved in SGA, because the only way to actually hear their needs is to have them in the meetings with us. So they can be a part of these meetings with the high-ups, and so that they can actually impart their wisdom. Because yes, we can learn, we can understand different types of students, but there's definitely like someone's own perspective that can really tick the clock and change people's opinions on broader topics.
So the best leaders are the best listeners. And one thing that I actually have on my platform is conducting listening tours, where SGA would go to various different organizations on campus and get their feedback about things that are going on. The SGA president has a really unique opportunity to get to engage with administrators, and you have to have an ear to the ground and hearing everything that's going on campus to be able to convey the diverse perspectives that we offer here at Auburn University. You have to be willing to listen to hear and not listen to respond. It's so important to hear people out for their experiences and meet them where they are, so that you can best serve every single student that graces this campus.
Yes, well, I totally agree. You need to be able to to meet with countless students and listen to them and be able to walk a mile in their shoes. So when I go in those meetings with administrators, I can say, I've thought about this from a different student's perspective. I think one of the most important things that the SGA president can do is go out and just have candid conversations with students. And as SGA president, I would welcome the opportunity to have my office open at all times for students to walk in and come talk to me about what is really going on in their life.
We can truly represent the student body by listening and understanding what our students have to say, what our constituents have to say. It's important that with 30,000 students, that we listen to Auburn Answers. And after conducting Auburn Answers surveys, we've identified that students want healthier options on campus. Students want a farm-to-table restaurant where 50% of their food comes from the meat lab, or the tilapia from aquaponics center. That's how we truly represent the 30,000 students on Auburn's campus.
Thank you. Jordan, we'll start with you for the next question. What do you think is the most pressing issue facing the student body, and how, in detail, do you plan to deal with this issue?
Question. I would say probably the most important issue addressing the most amount of students would probably be just overall general efficiency on Auburn's campus. A lot of students are affected in many different ways on many different parts of campus, and so it's our job as SGA to seek out these issues and then actually address them. So like I was saying earlier, like for me, the entire transit, that needs to be maybe not overhauled, but fixed, tweaked in little ways. So maybe it's like the security shuttle, maybe it more like Uber. So you see them, they see you're not waiting by, a random light pull out of Maybe it's basketball ticketing, not sitting in line for 9 hours. Maybe it's academics. Maybe it's having your tiger scheduler download directly and out of our classes instead of copying and pasting related numbers. So we have a lot of little things on campus that affect every single student in some way or another, and those are the things that are important to change. Those are the things that are important to work on. So that would be my plan as SGA president.
We can never be too conscientious of the students at Grace's campus and their personal safety. It should always be our top priority and our top concern is student safety. And so one thing that's actually my platform that I would love to implement is allowing students to be able to request and track security shuttles live through an app on their phone. This would allow students to be in a safe location as they're requesting these shuttles and continue to be in a safe location as they wait for these shuttles to get a safe ride home. Because like I said, we're an Auburn family, and when you have family, you take care of each other, and nothing should ever be more important than your family's safety.
Well, after countless conversations with multiple students, and actually sitting down and listening to what Auburn can do differently to make a positive impact on your specific Auburn experience, I've come up with that transportation is one of the biggest issues facing students. And that's why it's the second main point on my platform. One of the biggest things I want to do with transportation is bring electric scooters to Auburn. And through countless meetings and very successful talks with administration, I really feel like this is something that we will be able to bring to campus and something that will have a positive impact on students' lives.
The most pressing issue facing Auburn is that 30% of Auburn is food insecure. 7,634 students go to bed hungry every night. There's 7,634 students that go to bed hungry. I plan to address this by SGA hosting a half marathon and a 5K to generate money to fund the Student Recovery Fund, and the proceeds going to the Auburn Gifts so that they can disseminate that money to students that go to bed hungry. That's the most pressing issue facing Auburn.
In terms of the most pressing issue in student body's life it really is a great question that you got to ask every individual student. What I've come to see is that elevating your experience is a crucial opportunity, and doing that is going to make your pressing issue found, because your safety is of the utmost importance, and your community on Auburn's campus is just as equally important. Every Auburn student should feel like they're a part of a family, and there's students on our campus that do not. And that's something we've got to address immediately. In terms of safety and transportation, the other pressing issue that we're seeing on campus, we've got to secure a long-term contract with Lyft to ensure that this one-year contract we currently have is something that lasts as long as we're here at Auburn for every student after us as well, so that all students feel safe and secure in their time on campus.
Ada Ruth, we'll start with you for the next question. Past executive teams have left legacies of projects such as the Campus Rec, a mental health task force, the Auburn Memorial, and the Auburn Answers feedback system. How would you define success for your term, and what would be your legacy?
So success for my term, and Jakari already alluded to this issue on our campus, is really diving in and addressing food insecurity. There are so many students on this campus that struggle with this issue, and it's a basic need. And until your basic needs are met, you can't meet other needs like succeeding in the classroom. So this is something that I've worked tirelessly on throughout campus, through different outlets like dining and the Hunger Studies Department and the campus food pantry, really ensuring that we're doing everything that we can. One thing that I'm really wanting to do is establish a nutrition resource center on this campus that will allow students to seek out resources needed for hunger. And once this issue is addressed and once SGA has a seat at the table of solving some of those problems, that would be a successful term for me.
Well, I think the thing about success, it starts at the top, and it starts with the leadership of the SGA executive team, and most importantly, the next SGA the SGA president. For me, the most important thing in all of this is to be able to have those positive impacts on students' lives, to be able to actually change their lives, and for them to be able to look back at their Auburn experience and say, man, whoever that SGA president was 20 years ago really did have a positive impact on my life. So I want to be able to, like we alluded to earlier, sit down and really listen to students and figure out what it is that needs to be changed in order for them to have a better Auburn experience. And I feel like that is the ultimate telling of how successful your term is.
There were 100 high schools across the state of Alabama. 100 high schools that did not apply to Auburn. I don't know if they didn't apply because they're from a low socioeconomic background and they didn't believe that their test scores were high enough. And if that's the case, I want to partner with the College of Education to pilot an ACT tutoring program so that we can raise their test scores and they too can one day be a part of the Auburn family. That will be the legacy that I will leave behind, diversifying Auburn.
Success during my term is where the student body can look back and, as a business student, as a potential future businessman, you can say my investment in Auburn was worth it. And this is something that I hope every one of our students can look back and say, you know, the experience I was given made me feel safe. The experience I had helped me in the classroom. The experience I had made every day outside of the classroom, every second I spent outside the classroom worthwhile. Looking back and realizing, yes, Auburn prepared me for my experiences in my future career, but it gave me the very best friends, it gave me the very best opportunities to succeed, and it gave me a sense of community, a sense of family that I will forever call home. And that's what I hope all Auburn students will think of when they think of Auburn.
Success for me is everyone having a voice. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what your status is on campus, you have a place here and that you actually belong. A lot of students have no idea what SGA actually does, but each day, each week, we vote on your behalf, yet we never actually ask you what you actually wanted. So success for me would actually be going out talking to students, having them come into us, working with them, having weekly meetings, monthly meetings, task forces, anything that we can actually do to help create a bond between SGA and students that's beyond just campaign week.
Jack, how would you go about deciding on whether to support a decision in which the student body and the administrators or board of trustees' opinions differ?
Yes, so thank you for that. I think one of the most important things to do is to get, all the perspectives before you go in to make a decision. I think being able to go out and talk to different students, talk to different student groups, hear their opinions and hear their stance on the different issue, whatever it might be, is the most important thing. Then you can go in and with your trusted team of SGA exec and SGA and trusted advisors, you go in and you discuss the decision because no one opinion is right and no one opinion is wrong. And that is something that I believe and that I've learned throughout this whole thing is that, as much as I might think that I'm right, I'm very often not exactly totally right. So I need to make sure that I hear everything around me and I keep an open mind to that. So going into a disagreement with it, if I think that the students would benefit more from disagreeing with the decision, then I would stand firm and I would disagree with that. But if I think that maybe the board has their point and that does make sense, then I would be able to explain it to the students on why this path might be might be a better way forward.
the student body president, I will be elected by 30,000 students to serve their interests. And with that being said, that's putting their interests above administration. And so if I have to go into a board of trustees meeting and say, you know, this is not what the students want, this is not what the students have asked for, then I have no problem standing up for what the students want. And that's what it comes down to, and when it comes to difference of opinion with administration.
In my opinion, I think the differing of opinions is actually a good thing, and in all honesty, creates needed and worthwhile change. Differing of opinions is always going to be present, and it's just a matter of how you handle yourself. It's about coming to find in common terms where each person stands and where they came to their own decision. Because once we understand where people are coming from, then we can rely on the research SGA goes out and does. Then we can rely on the student feedback. Then we can rely on the needed change at Auburn that the surrounding peer institutions might be doing, and we can really find a solid solution. And while that might be compromised in some situations, we come to the very best solution that both parties come to find to be the best solution for the Auburn students. So no, I'll always fight for your opinion at all times to make sure that.
I completely agree with James. There's a lot of things on campus that are constantly changing, that are constantly happening. Questions are constantly being asked on who we want, what we want, who we want, where we want it. And so I think it's my job, because I'm being elected by you, not the administration, to voice your opinion. But on the other hand, there are times when there's things that are out of our control. We can't just conjure up $25 million to build a parking deck whenever we want. And so there's compromises here and there. Yes, we want to fix parking, but also we don't want to raise tuition. And so we're not just able to get every single thing we want every single time we want it, but it's our job as SGA to actually listen to you, figure out what your main needs are, and then do our best to address those.
So we really are blessed here at Auburn University to have varying levels of administration that have had incredible careers and experiences, and in some cases even their own Auburn experiences. So it's really important to take their view into consideration, but at the same time, if elected SGA president, my job is to represent everybody in this room, everybody that walks on this campus, and the 30,000 people that call themselves Auburn students and members of the Auburn family. So while I think their opinion is very important and should be considered, I have to respectfully remind them that my job is to represent you, and my job is to put your best interest ahead of anybody else's. So that's how I would handle that.
Thank you. Jakari, how have you advocated for diversity, equity, and inclusion practices on campus in the past?
As stated previously, Madam President, I believe advocating for a more diverse and inclusive campus would be reaching out to those 100 high schools across the state of Alabama that did not apply to Auburn through an ACT tutoring program. That's how we can reach Auburn and make Auburn more diverse.
In terms of my situations on reaching every student on Auburn's campus and creating the most equitable, the most diverse, the most inclusive opportunities, it just simply means being present. And I argue that over my 3 years here at Auburn so far, it's been a priority of mine of being present in different organizations, but most importantly, hearing all students, not just my close friends, not just my peers that I hang out with most, but every student around me that comes from these different backgrounds, every Auburn student that has a different experience than me entirely. And I think it's important to recognize that if you want inclusion, if you want diversity, it takes listening to all students, it takes advocating for all students, and it takes breaking these barriers that are in place on our campus, and it takes someone willing to go out and say, hey, these are some critical conversations we need to have, and it's time to have some critical solutions as well in place.
So I remember a few months ago, we all saw that survey that came out that said that we were the happiest students. But then on the flip side, we also saw that our relationships between races were suffering. And also our relationship between straight students and LGBTQ+ students were suffering. And so I think one of the major things is that we actually start looking at the issues holistically. So remember, Auburn put out a press release, talking about the happiness, but failed to mention all of the other aspects of what we were lacking. So these starts at the very top. Talking about donors, all of the past Auburn students, the ones that are looking for and going to all these high schools, trying to talk and recruit, they need to do a better job at actually researching and going to these schools. While also we as students need to do a better job of talking to our friends, talking to high school students, talking to anyone we can to actually show that Auburn does care about minority students, and it's not just fiction on the book.
Thank you. I've had the opportunity in the past to work in a lot of diverse spaces on campus, and one of the ways in which I did that was last year in Senate. I had the opportunity to serve as the Inclusion, Diversity, Equity Chairperson of the Student Senate. This allowed me to engage with a lot of different student groups on this campus. It also allowed me to work on really incredible projects, like making sure that we had gender-neutral language within our code of laws that governs SGA, and then in that sense governs the rest of the student body. I also had the opportunity to bring a really cool project that's near and dear to my heart, the MPHU Legacy Plaza, to this campus. I'm representing the Divine Nine and historically Black sororities and fraternities that grace this campus and recognizing their presence. So I've had a really unique opportunity to work with a lot of different student groups in the past, and I would hope that I would get to continue a lot of that work in the role as SGA president.
Well, a big thing throughout this whole night and this whole process for me has been listening to other students. And throughout this, I've been able to meet with so many diverse students on what it is that Auburn's not hitting that mark with, that we can do better with. And one of the things that I think that we can do to increase diversity and increase understanding between all students here is by implementing this Auburn Creed curriculum, as I like to call it, which will encourage students to take classes for real life situations after college. And one of the classes that I want to put in that is this class called Learning and Communicating in a Diverse Society, so that all students will be able to put themselves in other people's shoes and realize the things that they're going through and how they can best interact with those students.
Finally, if you'll have any closing remarks, you'll have a minute.
Thank you, Mary Margaret. Thank you all for being here. It's a privilege for all of us to be standing here, and it's an honor to be hoping to serve you, hopefully tomorrow evening, getting to start that. But I want to tell you all that my roommates actually last year, and I want to say this, they always ask me, what does SGA do for me? They have no idea what it does, and it's time that we change that, but with programs that we put in place that directly serve them. I know a lot of students were pumped to hear LIFT was brought to Auburn's campus. These are the initiatives that Auburn needs, so the student body can say, you know what, I might not know what SGA is doing, but SGA is representing me because this is what we asked for. And these are the continued initiatives that we want to bring to Auburn's campus. We want to continue with the great programs that Auburn is known for, the traditions that Auburn holds so true to their family environment. And most importantly, we want to make sure your experience is everything you could ever ask for. So that's why I hope tomorrow, guys, it's going to be a long day. It's a tough day on Auburn's campus for a lot of students. We want to make it an environment where you know we're caring because we're serving you where you're at. And we hope you'll see that, and that's why I hope you'll serve with Sadie so that you can increase your experience. Thank you.
Hey guys, so I know a lot of us up here, we're all in the exact same position, we all want to be great things for our campus, but no matter who's elected, I believe it comes down to y'all to hold us accountable. We don't want to hear where basically SGA does all the things behind the scenes, and then students just kind of hear about it later. We want y'all to actually come to us directly. Come to us with your case. Come to us with your questions. Come to us with your solutions, possibly. We need y'all to be as engaged as possible with students because that's the way SGA becomes the best it can be. This year, SGA was absolutely incredible. One of the reasons for that was all the answers. People filled it out. It rose like 200% because people kept wanting to talk. People kept wanting to question what SGA was doing, wanting to hear about things. I see you, Michael. So we need this to continue. We need students to feel engaged. We need students to feel like they belong. So if you believe in that, you belong with Bailey. Thank you.
Me and my team chose the slogan, "Make it happen with Huntley," for two reasons. One, I spent several months talking to administrators and various groups on this campus, seeing if everything on my platform was feasible. If it didn't, it wasn't on my platform. If it was feasible, it's exactly on that list that you see on the website. So every single thing I poured my heart and soul into it is feasible and practical for this campus and for Student Government Association. For the second reason, it's also a call to action. It's a call to bring you to the table and to represent your best interests. Everything that was put on that platform was designed and tailored to enhance your Auburn experience, to promote your student wellness, and to launch initiatives that would best represent you. And so I hope that you all see that. I hope that you see my heart for this university, and I hope that tomorrow you'll make it happen with Huntley.
So throughout this whole process, like I've been saying, I've had the incredible opportunity to meet with so many students. And after every single meeting, I write everything down in this book because your ideas matter to me, your thoughts matter to me, and your feelings do matter to me. And so everything on our platform of being on board with O'Keefe aims to really positively impact your life. And that's why the three main legs of our platform of inclusiveness, transportation, and campus life are going to do just that. I've had the incredible opportunity to meet with so many administrators about this opportunity and about these different ideas that students have brought to me that are all right here. And I look forward to being able to serve you and positively impact your life as SGA president next year. So thank you.
Auburn's about time. It's time that we catch the great things we have going here. I once heard that a boat sailing from England that had been 2 degrees, it would end up in Iceland. We can make small changes around the corner by enhancing our student life, expanding our smaller clubs organizations, by allowing them to set up a freshman convocation, making Auburn safe by offering a personal self-defense class, and a security shield that lets you see the security shield's ETA. Now is the time to vote to carry out for SGA President War Eagle.
Thank each of you for coming tonight. I would like to thank you on behalf of myself and my team for allowing us to serve this year. It's been one of our greatest honors, and we appreciate the opportunity to represent each of you. I do have a few reminders. SGA cabinet applications are now open, and they can be found at aub.ie/apply4SGA. There's a single application for all cabinet positions, including executive, assistant vice president, and director or assistant director level positions. Students only need to complete the application once, and then will be given the opportunity to select what level of SGA leadership you wish to be considered for. To be considered for the executive level position, applications need to be submitted by Friday, February 7th at 4:45 p.m. Please email sga@auburn.edu if you have any questions. Please make sure that you voice your opinion on voting day tomorrow, February 4th at aub.ie/SGA vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Check out the Auburn SGA social media pages for information on the ranked choice voting system and how to vote. Thank you again for coming and for a wonderful year. I encourage all of you to get involved in SGA. And once again, vote tomorrow. War Eagle!
Are you walking to the villa? What?